Hi guys.
What's poppin'?
I hope you're as well. I don't know why I froze.
Welcome to episode 2
Of this and yup.
a podcast. I feel like we have to distinguish that.
Yeah,
You know
no,
how many
but
this and yap podcasts
I
there
know,
are?
but how you said that is funny.
Oh. They were like, we need the first episode to drop already.
I set up the YouTube.
So we know we're at episode 2, navigating college. So we know if you saw on our Instagram, if you don't have us on Instagram, follow, like, support, share. Even for YouTube, like, share, subscribe.
Should we introduce ourselves?
Oh yeah, my name is Bri.
I'm Jeanette.
Just to give a recap, if you haven't seen episode 1, it's an introduction of us. I really recommend you guys watching it, and it's really cool.
100%. Also,
Go.
the wall.
Oh, right.
Okay. We are changing walls every now and then, so bear with us as walls change, backgrounds change, because we are filming this back and forth from each other, driving a lot, meeting each other in the middle. So
Yeah. Welcome to my art wall. It's part of my aesthetic here. So yeah, navigating undergrad, as you know, like, we are from Cal State Channel Islands. We both graduated from there in communication. She double majored in.
Yes. Sorry. I had a thought in my brain. I was like, damn, we just jumped right into it. We didn't even say what this was going to be about.
This is us telling, isn't this like?
Yeah, I guess so. Okay. I was just going to be like, oh, like on today's episode, we're talking about, it's fine. So yes, I went into college not as a double major originally. I went in as a Spanish major, transitioned into a double major, which is a story that we will get into. And for yourself.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even know why you did.
Oh my god, it's such a not exciting story.
Oh, well, I don't know. I never knew.
It's a really quick story actually.
Okay. But okay, to give a recap of like what we're talking about, it's like, we're both 18 coming in. We both are learning that, I guess for me, as much as I don't want to speak upon you, but you could say yes or no, but I came in college knowing that this is the first time I'm not with any adults watching me anymore.
We are the adults.
Yeah, we're the adults. They let an 18-year-old be an adult. That's crazy. And I'm freaking in my mid-20s now, and I still feel like, shit, I'm an adult.
Oh my god.
Right? There's a lot of shit, like, I don't even know, like...
I'm a child with adult money.
Yeah,
that's
literally.
Really what it is.
This is why we're poor. But it was a lot. I mean, I came in undeclared. You came in, like you said, in Spanish. And I came in undeclared because I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. And I didn't know, like, what life was going to take me. And I also knew I didn't work the first year.
Yeah.
I had enough money saved. I didn't have to. But, I should have. Now here we are. And you said you worked.
Pretty sure, if my timeline is correct, I'm pretty sure I worked the spring semester of my freshman year.
What was the job?
I was a campus tour guide, and I worked in the admissions office. So I answered phone calls and emails and gave tours to students that wanted to come check out the university.
Yeah, her customer service voice on point.
As bubbly of a personality as you can get, basically.
Yeah, literally. I give you props because that's so much people time, bro.
For a non-comm major, I was very communicative.
Literally. I still give her props because you gotta have customer service like voice on point. Be like, hey, welcome in. Come to Cal State Channel Islands.
Hi, friends. How we doing today? What are we interested in? Oh my god, that's so exciting. I love it.
You don't talk like that every day.
No, I don't. God, no.
This is how
I worked yesterday, and that was the voice that I was saying. Hi, friends. Good morning.
Oh god. Yeah, but I also have. We have to. It's part of our. We have to have a customer service voice. But like, she was a campus tour. I didn't work, and then, like coming in the first year, we also were learning a lot about ourselves, and we thankfully had like Cal State Channel Islands had like a clubs and orgs event, so we got to see like what clubs are on campus. And as you saw on the Instagram, Jeanette went to sorority that area. I went into the sports swim. I played soccer since I was 4, but yeah, you want to tell me about that?
Oh yes.
Like, why did you do it?
Why did I do it? That is amazing. That's a great question. Um, so no, fun fact actually is that when I got into high school, my mom was like, you have to do something. Like, you have to be involved. I don't care what you're involved in. You have to do something.
Yeah.
So I did cheer all 4 years of high school, and then senior year of high school, I also added show choir on there. So I sung and danced and competed, and it was great. I actually loved it more than I loved cheer. I was like, I regret not doing this sooner. And then when I got into college, again, first semester, I was like super freaking bored. I had 4 classes, which was twice a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, I'm going to my dorm, I'm eating, I'm doing homework. This is really boring. I have so much free time now.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, let me do something. Let me get involved. So I got my job, and I was like, I think I want to work. I want to make my own money, because I'm very fortunate where my parents were supporting me for everything, to the point where my mom was literally like, why do you want a job? Like, if you don't have to work, why would you work? And I was like, literally for funsies, like, because I'm bored. And then shout out to the girl in my English class my freshman year, because she was like, hey, I'm going to rush a sorority. Like, do you want to join me? And I was like, Greek life? I don't know about all that. Because what you see in the movies, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's all...
A lot of movies give us that stigma of like, oh, look at all this and it looks crazy.
Yeah. I don't want to say it looks horrible, right? Like,
yeah.
But
it's not everyone's cup of tea.
They're always portrayed as such, like, mean girls. Like, the bitchiest people you could ever meet, right? And so... Senior year of high school, I wrote a whole paper about how I hated Greek life. And then here I am, years later, involved in Greek life. But so I was like, let's do it. And I joined my sorority, who was local at the time. They were called Latino Leadership Coalition, and it was literally just a bunch of Latinas in this group from all colors, all backgrounds of Latin America.
Our university is HSI, which is this
Hispanic Serving Institution.
Yeah. I sometimes forget the S part. But like HSI, so like also like we're going in with, I don't know for you, but like for me, like that was kind of a culture shock, because I'm from a high school that was very middle to higher class. It didn't have a lot of Hispanics.
Your high school was too?
Yeah, my high school was that. And going into now an HSI university and seeing a lot of more Hispanics and multiple ethnicities and culture, it was a lot, because I was like, oh shit, there is a community around me.
That's funny. I didn't know that your high school was also mostly like... So yeah, the university was majority Hispanics, and so being able to go into the sorority and see nothing but Latinas, I was like, these girls are dope. They're playing the fucking corridos and like banda music at the parties, like at the social gatherings. We're speaking Spanish, we're talking shit, so it was fun. And I know that Greek like is like, oh, you're paying for friends, right? But genuinely, like, first of all, we were paying to like feed ourselves, okay? So like all that money is kind of going back to us anyways. And to like all the cute like shirts that I got, which I freaking love, and I just use them as like workout shirts now, if and when I work out. But I made really great friends that I could count on and rely on outside of Bri, who also had her own things going on.
Yeah, I went in the sports route. I played soccer since 4, like I said before, and in the beginning, I didn't even know I was going to try out. I put my information down when I met the club, and I still felt like awkward, because I didn't know from in high school. So I played high school, I played club, I did all that jazz. And in high school though, like the first 3 years, it was dope. I was starting, I was playing, like I was on my grind, and thankfully I was privileged enough to be captain and chosen to be captain all those 3 years. And then for senior year, being on varsity, you know, the culture kind of shift, and I didn't play a lot of games, and I played maybe 2 games out of the season. And so it kind of hit me kind of hard, thinking like, this sport I love, and now I have to watch it from the sidelines, as much as I am supporting everyone and I can, because I wasn't the only one being a bench warmer at this point. And you know, I was hesitant to go back, because like it kind of killed my love for the game. But like now I still am obsessed with that game. I love watching soccer till the day I die. I'm too much of an adrenaline junkie when freaking watching, even when because I work at, like I said, I worked in athletics. Even just watching like the student athletes play, I'm like, I get full in it. And so it was a lot. It took a lot of people convince me, even my boyfriend at that time, to, you know, just like go try out, go do it. And, you know, once I did, I felt it was nice. And it felt like I did find a community within there. Like sports, it was kind of easy for me to connect with people, because I have similar interests with that. Just like how you with sororities, you found a community that had similar interests.
Yeah.
You know, I know you say that the words the in the beginning it was called the Latina.
Oh, yes.
And now what is it called now?
Yes. So shortly, right? Still getting used to it. So shortly after I joined as a local sorority, the group decided that they wanted to go national and join a bigger sorority. So I am now a founding sister of the chapter at the university for Sigma Omega Nu. That is still smaller nationally,
Yeah.
but in California, Nevada, and Colorado. So
Ooh.
expanding. Shout out my Sunny sisters. Love you
Yeah.
guys so much if you're watching.
Yeah, they're called Sunnies, and I always made fun of her being like, "You're Sunny."
Yes.
But you know, she's happy. I'm glad she's happy. Like again, that wasn't my scene, but like all power to her for doing all that stuff. But yeah, like that's kind of where we found like our communities within the university, and then of course branching out more. Like I said, I was undeclared. I was still trying to figure it out, and then apparently like the timeline wise, by sophomore year, going into your junior year,
Mhm.
you needed to pick a major. You needed to decide.
Yeah.
And at that time, for me at least, I still was freaking out because I was like, I still don't know what to do. I was actually a math major in the beginning. I decided to clear that.
What?
Yeah, that's why I took so many math classes.
Oh.
That's what the words and numbers. I got a B plus in that class. I took a class that said logical mathematic reasoning, which was words and numbers, and I got a B plus in
God.
that class. But then I changed it because I was tired of it. Because this is how I kind of switched my major to communications that I graduated with. I picked up a minor, and I was doing communications at the time, and that's when I did public speaking for the first time. And I was like, this is kind of fun, like low key. And also me because I'm a fucking yapper. I was just like, I'm kind of like enjoying this and learning about this stuff. So then I made a heavy switch, and it actually kind of put me behind too. I actually wasn't good graduate our year. I was behind like 2 classes.
I was gonna say, I was like, props to you for doing all that and still graduating in 4 years.
Yeah,
Like that's unheard of.
You know, I'm alright. But I was gonna not graduate on time because I was 2 classes behind. So I took winter classes at community college, which gives us shout out, and wanted to really acknowledge this, that yes, that we went to 4 years, but going to community college, that if that feels comfortable for you,
Valid.
go do it. Like that doesn't mean you're behind or you don't have your life figured out. You just,
But
learn
no,
a lot.
shout out to community college. It is 100% valid. Okay, if anybody is listening and you're still like in community college, 1,000% valid for you to go and transfer. Okay, I work with so many students that's what they do,
Yeah.
and I don't think of them any less. I'm like, hey, you're still reaching your goals.
Because it's like that imposter syndrome, transferring in or even being our first years, going into college for the first time in a whole university and culture, like we're like, it's a lot of imposter syndrome. At least for me, I got so much imposter syndrome from it because I was just like, how did I deserve this, or like how did I earn all of this?
Yeah. Oh, I never thought I was smart enough to be in those rooms.
Yeah, right. Because it's like, and that's what sucks. Because like there is people that we did meet in our timelines where they thought they were hot shit because of like, oh, I went to this school and this X, Y, and Z. Big schools have big words. And it's just like, you know what? I got the degree, I got the education. That's what matters to you, and that should matter always to you because it's about your journey, no one else's. Knowing that you did that shit, that's what it is.
No, 100%.
Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, I switched my degree to communications, and that's when I've kind of found my groove. And then junior year.
I love this.
Junior year. So my dad at the time was in community college. He needed to finish a few more classes to get a degree. Funny enough, he transferred to Cal State Channel Islands because when he did the tour with me, he's like, I love this school. And I was like, I know this guy's going to follow me over here.
My parents also loved the university.
I know.
It's a beautiful campus.
You know what's crazy? I don't think I told you.
What?
That wasn't my top choice.
It was my only choice. Like, not because I actually chose it, but because it just kind of fell in my lap.
I didn't want to go in the beginning.
Boo.
Hey, I mean, now I'm grateful I did, but I got into all the other schools I wanted to go to. But money. I couldn't financially afford it, and my family couldn't financially afford it, which is okay. And you know what? I just took a shot. I was like, you know what? My last resort, it has turned out to be my best resort.
Yeah, you met me.
Yeah, exactly. But funny enough, so yeah, junior year, somebody transferred, and look enough, dad and daughter at the same freaking university. And even more funny, we got the same degree in organizational communications.
When you guys were signing up for classes, did you know that he was signing up for the same classes you were signing up for?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I didn't. We only had at least one semester. We had one class together,
Oh, I thought
which
you had
was
more.
with probably more. But I think he did the virtual one because my dad, you know, he's in his 40s and he's a commuter, full-time parent, full-time job, also trying to finish school and get a degree to have more for himself and also to provide for us.
Yeah.
So, you know, he has such a different culture experience than I ever did because I was an RA, which I need to get into the RA.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
But I had a whole different environment and like I was his resource for a lot of it. So I think he did some classes the same as me, but like virtual. So the asynchronous ones or
Yeah.
whatever. But I remember one class we did take together, and I'm always gonna give him shit for it because. So the professors started knowing us on the personal basis, and now the following line, because my dad also worked at my high school at the time too, so I was known as Coach's daughter, and then I was just like, oh my god, you're Tulio's daughter in college. Like, yeah, I guess that's following. Like, bro,
Shout out Bree's dad.
I know, I love my dad. Like, no one. I praise my dad so much because like I love him to death, and I love my parents in general. But I always say to a lot of people like my dad is my best friend. Like he is like where I get most of my personality from and everything. 100% my best friend. I love him to death, and I praise him to going back to school because that shit is hard. Even like kids now, like if you're in your mid-20s and you stopped and you dropped out of school or couldn't do it because of certain things in life, like it's okay to go back. My dad is a prime example, and he's in his late 40s and he got that shit done.
Yeah.
It's okay. Everyone's timeline is different, so I just want to also acknowledge that, like 100%.
Yeah.
But so we took a class together in person. It was persuasion and argumentative, which of course is very interesting when a dad and daughter in a class because persuasion and argumentative lectures. And he texted me and he was like, save me a seat. I was like, okay, bet, I got you. So I did save him a seat. This man sits in front of me. And I was like, didn't you say to save me a seat? And like he sat in front of me. And I'm like, dude, you don't want to sit next to me? Or
Should have just started throwing paper at his head.
Literally, I wanted to, but that's not how we work here. But and then the professor, she saw both of us in the class, said hi to us, and she was passing out the syllabus. And my dad says to her, she didn't save a seat for me. I said, I did. I came in 10 minutes early, and you sat in front of me. And she's like, I don't want to hear either of you guys right now, because she knew us at a personal basis at this point. So it was so funny. But it's also funny because me and my dad critiqued each other on our speeches.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if you clarified this, but like you said, your dad was commuting and you were on campus. Like you were living on campus when this was happening, right?
Yeah, I was still living at campus. I lived there until like COVID hit, and then we had to move all out. But I was on campus still. I worked as an RA at that time. And that's a whole other realm. So being a resident advisor, to anyone who's in college being an RA right now, to props, because I did my time. I'm never coming back. That PTSD of that cell phone, if I hear that ringtone, I give anxiety.
I have no idea what she's talking about. I mean,
You have the duty
half. Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about, but like I never had that experience. So I'm just like, yeah. I have my own PTSD from different things.
But being RA was a lot. It's a lot of learning experience too, because like I said in the first episode, I was sophomore year. I became an RA. I got picked from the alternate list because someone dropped out.
Oh.
So I didn't even get the job in the beginning. It's fine.
What is it?
I know, right? But honestly, it's a blessing in disguise because like the perk of being an RA over there, you got free housing, and like again, financial aid, school's a lot. I paid like doing what I can to like help make it cheaper. The fact that I was an RA for a couple of years, 3 years, I got free housing for 3 years. It was a perk.
100%.
It was still, the job was brutal though, like 24-hour duty shifts, dude. I mean, it felt like you're on duty for 24 hours, but
I mean, you basically are babysitting a bunch of
Yeah.
like 20-year-olds
I was
7 days a week.
I was an RA for juniors and seniors the first year. Second year,
Were those your freshmen?
I was a because we lived in town center. Then I had to go back and do the freshman,
Mm-hmm.
and then the COVID series one. So I was sophomores to freshmen, but all living in the sophomore residence
Oh,
halls.
okay.
Um,
You never lived in those, huh?
no, that was my first time when I had to move down there, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh shit, this is interesting. But yeah, I never lived in that. I
It's
got
an
the freshmen to
interesting
the
setting.
seniors to the town center. But it was, it helped me learn a lot to work in such fast paced and like heavy situations. So
Yeah, for sure.
I did appreciate the job. I never gonna do it ever again. Ever did my time. Never, there was also times I did half ass, bro.
It's valid. Well, because you think about it, you're a 20-year-old babysitting a bunch of 20-year-olds. Like, you're not you're not really gonna care all the time.
No, yeah.
you know?
And there's like times like I was the type of RA who was really chill. At least I hope to be. And I literally said if I don't hear it, see or smell it, I'm not writing it. So like
100%. All the RAs were like that. They were like,
Yeah.
as long as you don't do anything stupid, don't get caught.
yeah.
Basically.
So like and then if it actually happens and they get caught and I look at them like I gave y'all warnings, they accept that they knew like the drill and they're like,
Mhm.
all right, fine, go ahead and write me up. Like
Yeah, you knew the consequences.
yeah, so it was kind of easier. But like yeah, it was alright. Like I learned crackhead hours, which means because for RA on duty we had to do like evening walks at 10 and 12, and then on weekends it's 10, 12, and 2. So it was crackhead hours because we were up. So then I was used to being awake till like 3 or 4 in the morning if there was like an incident or something.
You like never really got to sleep.
I don't know what sleep is. Like
Even now, that's a different story.
we're an adults, like we don't sleep often.
Yeah.
But yeah, RA was a lot.
Yeah.
You stayed working campus tours once you got hired, right?
Yes. So my experience, did campus tours, admissions, and all that. Essentially all 4 years, 3.5 years, right? And so,
Till you, what's it called? Solidified a full-time job.
heck yeah, secured the bag. But yes, going back to like at least my education in general. So came in as a Spanish major. I had a whole thing. I don't know if I ever told you this. Like I originally
You wanted to be interpreter.
Yes, I originally
remember
wanted
that.
to be an interpreter, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna come in as a Spanish major, and then I'm gonna double major as a political science student to do
I
like
didn't know about political science.
yeah, to
You're
do
crazy.
interpreting because I thought I was gonna do it in like the courts and like
Damn.
civil like
Alright.
law, and so I took political science, and I was
In
like,
Spanish being like, hey, this is Cap.
and I went to political science class and I was like, I hate this. Like, history is not my thing. Politics are not my thing. Spanish is barely my thing now. And I remember taking a Chicano studies class. I don't know for what. It was like for one of the G's, I think.
I think it's probably Chicano 100 then. Or
It
101,
was,
something
yeah.
like that.
It was like one of those. And I was like, oh my God, I kind of love this. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with Chicano studies, it's literally just like a history of Mexican Americans and Latino Americans in the U.S.
Yeah.
And so for Channel Islands, it was specific to a lot more about the people in Ventura County, in that area. And so I was like, wow, this is dope. I'm going to like add this as a minor. So then I had the minor. My sophomore year, I went into the professor's class or the professor's office for like office hours. And I was like, hey, I'm trying to plan out the next like 2.5 years of my college education. And he was like, you have like enough classes to essentially finish the major off. And I was like, oh, well, I don't really know if I want to do that. And he was like, you're a double major now.
Oh, so
And
he made the decision for
He
you.
put in the paperwork for me before I even like fully committed to it. And I literally walked out of the office like, okay, I guess I'm a double major now. Because he was like, oh, you only need like 4 more classes and you're going to finish the minor. And then you have like another 6 classes to finish the major.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess.
You liked it though.
No, I did. I ended up loving it 100%. And so in doing that, I went to my Spanish faculty and I was like, hey, Chicano studies filled in everything that I need to take. Can you just fill in the gaps? And they were like, sure. And so he gives me his own schedule. And in that, I had already decided that Channel Islands offered a healthcare interpreting certificate.
Oh shit!
And
I
so
didn't know
that's how I did that, is because they offered classes to be a healthcare interpreter.
So did you have that certification?
Technically. So when I graduated, I got a piece of paper that said like certificate in healthcare interpretation.
You always could do that as a side hustle. You never know.
For sure, because in COVID, like once we graduated, I took the exam to be like official with the state, and I passed exam 1.
Oh.
And then
so
still
good. This is still good.
So I passed exam 1, and I think you had to wait like a month to take exam 2. Okay. So I went back to take exam 2, and I was like 10 points off from passing exam 2.
All right, that's
but
not bad.
because COVID happened and they needed people inside the hospitals, they were provisionally certifying everybody who passed exam 1. They were like, we need people in these hospitals. We need interpreters in the hospitals.
They had
and I panicked. And I was like, I'm technically provisionally certified where I could go into the hospitals right now and start interpreting.
But it's okay.
And I panicked, and I was like, I don't want to go into these hospitals right now because COVID. B, I have high risk family.
Yeah.
C, I don't want to have to sit there and tell people that they're dying.
Oh yeah, that's
like I don't
heavy.
have the heart.
It's heavy grief. It's heavy.
I have too big of a heart for me to not feel the pain of these people.
No, yeah.
So that's why I just never went into it. But if I ever wanted to, I could fully study again and go back for it.
That's dope, though. I didn't even know about the exams.
I did that. So I did double major on top of working my job, on top of being in a sorority.
You had a lot of weight.
I had a full schedule, and my job was like, hey, sometimes I had to work weekends, or sometimes I had to work like big admission events. You know, my sorority took up so many weekends and nights, and we would have club meetings until like 3 a.m.
Oh God.
Yeah, like sometimes I wouldn't get back to my dorm
so
until
you understand crackhead hours.
Yeah, I'd be sitting in a conference room in this sorority meeting until like 2:30 in the morning, and they'd be like, okay, this one last vote and then we can leave, and then we'll table the rest for next week.
Yeah,
because we had weekly meetings, because we had so much stuff that we had to fulfill. I was tired.
I know, like, to be fair, just all that weight is a lot, dude. Like, how did you take care of yourself at those times?
It's a great question. How did we take care of ourselves?
Honestly, what was our favorite spot going to on campus?
The cafeteria.
Besides that,
I was like,
our cafeteria was dope. I'll give it that.
I was like, I love the cafeteria.
I loved eating. It was great. I love eating now.
What was our favorite spot?
Library.
That
was my favorite spot.
Like, I don't know.
What's your favorite spot then?
The cafeteria.
Oh,
okay, I made like friends with the guy that used to cook the pasta.
Bro, so you got it a clutch.
So he would always give me like, I'd be like, hey, can I get, this pasta or whatever, and then he'd always put like extra like salt or like extra garlic in there to make it really flavorful. Homeboy was the best. Oh, that pasta was so good.
Hey, the campus food over there was actually good.
It was so good.
They had their off days though.
No, for sure.
But I mean, my favorite camp area, as much as I love food, was the library.
I feel like you love the 3rd floor.
I love the 3rd floor. It was so quiet, and I hate people.
Also, the 3rd floor of the library is an open space, so sunset up there, gorgeous. I got so many beautiful pictures.
Yeah, our library is all glass, so that's why, like, you saw the sunset. It was killer. And honestly, I kind of started living there around my senior year, just on camp in that library.
Yeah,
because I had a lot of, like, at that time I made my friends and everything, and I was just like, you know what, if this feels good, and we had a routine and everything. I love the nighttime too. I was just in my music and my zen, and I was just like, let's grind this. Get out.
Oh my god, the amount of finals that I like would sleep on the couches in the library.
Yeah, we had couches
for like 20 minutes and then wake up and do my homework.
Hey, there's people there. So it was a perk is that they kept our library open during finals 24 hours. So like we laid there, and like you could stay in there till like 3 a.m. You had people just had blankets and pillows too, and just slept there and then just wake up.
Finals week, that's all it was. Just people like around the couches, taking a quick 20-minute nap, waking up, doing homework, studying.
Yeah.
I hardly like slept in my bed during finals week.
Literally.
I was sleeping in the library.
But here's a good question. Out of like the experiences that we had, like what was kind of like that turning moment for you of like feeling like fully an adult, like partially an adult, because we still feel like having those turning moments?
That's a great question. In college, Did I ever feel like I was fully an adult in college?
No.
No. Like,
Where do you feel like you had that moment of like, shit, this is really all me? I guess maybe like that's the question.
oh, like no, like I have to rely on myself to do this.
Yeah.
Ooh, it was probably sophomore year.
Really?
Sophomore year was rough for me.
Wow.
I remember it, or I guess for the people that don't know, right? You remember. Like I went technically through 2 breakups. Like I had broken up with my boyfriend at the time, or he had broken up with me, really. And that one hit really hard because that was my first boyfriend in college that I like seriously liked. And then on top of that, my roommate and I had gotten into it. And so we kind of broke up in a way.
A friendship breakup.
Yeah, our friendship breakup. Like that relationship just didn't really flourish as well as like ours did, you know? Yeah. And so that was hard to essentially have to deal with 2 breakups at a time, where I was like, fuck, like I still have to go to school. I still have to function as a human being. Like I seeked out the CAP Center. I think you pushed me to do it because people visibly noticed that there was a difference in me. And it was like, hey, you should go talk to somebody. Like you should go seek help. And so going to the counseling center definitely helped, where I was like, okay, I can start kind of functioning again. And I saw my grades drop for a little bit, and I was like, okay, this is seriously like all on me. Like nobody's gonna sit here and help me about this. Like, and I told my parents, but I wasn't really trying to share everything, because as the first one to go to college, you want to be like, I can do it, I'm fine. Like, you know, don't pull me out of school, don't bring me home, like I got this.
It's a lot of weight. I mean, like those things, like life happens. Like we started building our lives, and like now we had life experiences, and it's like, shit, like I'm doing this by myself. And like that's how you felt. Yeah. I think for me it was junior year, because that's when me and my first boyfriend broke up. And everything, the world felt like it was crashing down. I got in a really depressive episode, and everyone came in. God bless the friends that I had then, and like she was there as well. They helped me clear out the apartment of all the stuff, and like I was so gone. Like I remember they were rotating of who was watching me, because I used to go into my friend's apartment, and they stayed there, and they took me out to eat, and then my other friend would just come and hang out with me, and then you would come and hang out with me and just try to get me out. And like I did skip classes, so my grades also plummeted, and you know, because like I had to learn how to live without them for the first time, and I was like, shoot, like this is all me, like I gotta figure it out. So I also went to therapy that time, and for CAPS, and you know, it kind of felt decent. You know, I was still doing my thing, but I just felt like numb. But like that kind of helped me figure out or learn, like, shoot, like I am the one who needs to take care of myself. And it's like you said, the pressure of like going to school for the first time and like doing all this on your own, and you're setting the tone for everyone else in our next generation.
For sure.
Like it was a lot, because like it was a lot. I don't know about you, but like I did have family who come to me, they're like, Bri, you're doing amazing, you're doing all this stuff, and like everyone's looking up to you. And as much as like I loved that appreciation, I felt a lot of pressure.
100%. Yes, my mom, like all the time, or even my parents, just both my parents, whenever they'd ask like, oh, like how's your daughter doing, they were so proud to talk about like how I was going to college and how I was doing so well. And my mom would always be like, oh my god, she's working and going to school and doing this, and she's so involved. And it was like, fuck, everybody knows about me, to the point where like I can't be like the college dropout, you know, or I can't like fail at anything. Like I have to pass everything. I have to keep going.
We had to set the tone, and setting the tone is so hard, because then I think as much as our family knows like kind of a brief overview of a lot of bad stuff or like shitty times that we had, they don't know the full deep thought of it, of like how much it really, like we went through it. There was timelines. And then I don't know for you, but for senior year, especially with COVID, it was a test for me, because when I was living back at home and like there was not a lot of space, and I was losing my mind, because I was just like, I have the capstone, I have this, I need to graduate, but yet it feels so weird, like the college shift from COVID.
100%. Doing school in COVID was so hard. Trying to focus on anything, just sitting at a computer literally 8 hours a day, it was stupid hard. And then at the same time, like when my finals came around, I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna graduate. Like I have zero motivation, zero understanding at this
Yeah.
point. I'm so like zoned out of whatever school I'm doing.
Mhm.
I remember I looked at my mom and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna graduate. Like genuinely, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pass my classes. My capstone was stupid hard
Yeah.
for no reason. Like it didn't need to be that way.
Yeah, and it's like for me, I just was like, I just had mental breakdowns, dude. I was just like, I knew I could graduate, but I was just like, dude, I can't do this. Like, it's hard. I started losing. I felt like I was
It
losing
was-
my mind in my own house. Like,
It was
that's
so numbing.
it was a lot. It was such a heavy transition. I mean, it was kind of nice too, though, which I hate to say. My dad was in the same boat because like he also had a transition back to just all virtual. I mean, it kind of helped him because he was full.
For
He's a
sure.
full-time parent,
Yeah.
and it was nice that he was also going through the same thing. I don't know if how much stress that he was in. I
Mhm.
bet it was still a good amount,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like I said, a privilege of that experience for
Yeah.
sure with my pops.
And even like when we started working in COVID, it's so hard to separate like school and home or work and home
I felt
when
like it
it's
was everything.
all in the same place all the time. Like that's
Yeah.
why I don't think I could ever have a remote job
Yeah.
because I need separation of work and home. If not, I'm literally just bringing work into my house every day, or I'm bringing school home with me versus like, okay, my desk was literally right next to my bed. So it was like, wake up,
Roll
sit
over.
on the desk. Yeah. Wake up, maybe brush my teeth if I wake up on time, maybe eat breakfast. Let me just turn off my camera and go downstairs and eat some
Yeah.
food and like not even pay attention to class at this point.
I mean, I hate to say it, when virtual happened, I literally had my camera off and I just like was listening to it as like a podcast because I wasn't
yeah,
fully
it was
there.
just background noise. The only time I had my camera on is if my professor made us.
Yeah,
Or if we
yeah.
had to go like into breakout rooms for like
Oh,
group
yeah,
work.
100%.
Which group work was so hard in COVID.
I couldn't do it, bro.
Yeah, no, I didn't think I was gonna pass my capstone if
Really?
it wasn't for the friends that supported me through it. I remember my mom sitting there at like 2 a.m. on my bed while I'm at my desk like trying to finish my capstone like before it's due the next day, and she's like falling asleep on my bed, and I was like, Mom, you can go to sleep, it's fine. She's like, no, like you need me to be up with you, and I was like,
Props to your mom. I love her mom.
yeah,
I'm her adopted daughter.
I love my mom. Shout out,
Mom.
Mom. You're my best friend. You know it.
Should we
For
talk
sure.
about our masters a little?
Yeah, why not?
Right.
Because masters was also a whole. It's its own separate piece. I didn't think I was gonna do one after. I know you went in.
You know what? I gotta praise one of my friends. He knows who he is. He was kind of the reason why I pushed myself to do more. But I also want to talk briefly about graduation.
Oh yeah. So okay, so after COVID and everything, well, I guess in the middle of COVID, when it
Yeah.
was kind of opening up a little bit more, we finally graduate. Shocker.
We got a drive-through type of graduation where they did the PowerPoint photos and everyone was honking.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also put it into the one with my dad.
Oh.
This is why I want to talk about it. I loved it because we actually had to convince my dad to do it.
Really?
He didn't want to do it.
Oh.
He didn't want to do it because, again, he's just like me. Attention.
Right.
It's
But that's
just
such a big moment for the both
yeah,
of
and
you.
we like pushed him so hard, like, you need to go with me. Go with me, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay. And he used one of my friend's gowns.
I was gonna ask if you had a gown.
No. And we convinced him to do it. And it was such a beautiful moment for both of us because we got snapshots of like us graduating together, which
Mhm.
again I'll insert like all the stuff. And I think also was super dope is that Channel Islands, like their news one,
Yeah.
they
in
recorded
the newsletter.
us. The newsletter, which I wish I got money for, bro. They used our picture so many times, bro.
They did. Even post graduation.
Bro, I need that sponsor. But they recorded us. I did a whole interview of us, and I still have a video. I'll link it to the YouTube if you guys want to watch it. And it's just like asking us like our whole experience because like the lady when we're all taking photos together, like, oh, who are you guys? We're like daughter and dad.
Yeah.
And it was just a privilege. I can never think enough of like how much of an opportunity that not many people get to graduate with their parent, mom or
100%.
dad or anything. But like I got that privilege and opportunity to graduate with my dad, and I never get to forget that, and I could forever share that memory because that was such a dope memory and momentum, and also just a opportunity for my dad knowing that he did that.
Yeah.
I love it.
That was amazing. Did we pick the same day on purpose, or was it by coincidence that we picked the same graduation day?
It was by coincidence.
Oh, okay. See, the fates just kept working out for us because they offered, I think, like 2 days.
Yeah, it was based on
graduation?
the major levels, and I think it's because Chicano was the reason why, because I have communications.
Maybe.
Because Spanish, I think, was the other day.
But my main degree was Spanish.
I
I don't know. But anyways, we ended up being able to go to graduation together.
Yeah.
At the same graduation because I had multiple throughout that weekend.
So we were able to caught it. It was a windy ass day
It was
that day.
so windy that day.
I hate the pictures that we took together,
Oh,
except the one the
with
selfies.
me trying to yeah.
Yeah, with the wind, our hair was like this.
That was kind of funny though. But yeah,
Nice.
shout out your mom for taking those pictures.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um,
But yeah, it was dope. It was dope to have that moment because like I don't know how you felt during that moment. And you know, yes, with COVID and everything, but it's just like knowing that like, hey, I did that. I have that on my name.
to me, it felt surreal.
Yeah, right.
Like it didn't feel like I was actually graduating
Yeah.
until the piece of paper came in the mail, and I was like, oh, okay, like
It's
now
real.
I'm done. Yeah.
It felt surreal for sure, and it felt like blood, sweat, and tears really pay off of like what I want to do and the next stepping stone. But
Your
yeah,
masters.
we both went for a master's. I went in immediately after. Like I didn't had summer, and then I was right back in school in the fall. I had the privilege to go to USC. I'll just say that. I did it in higher education. The title of my master's was too long, so I'm not even gonna try. But it's higher education. Also a major cultural shock. But I actually wasn't gonna go for it in the beginning because I just felt like I wasn't sure. But I knew I wanted to help people, and I did like working in higher ed. As much as I said I like art, it was hard. Like it helped me learn. I like helping people and talking to people. And one of my friends, like I said, he grinds as much as like I hate to say it, he does blood, sweat, and tears in his career, and I give him so much props. And he kind of helped me, gave me that motivation of like, do you want to settle for little, like for less, or you want to go big? And I was like, I want to go for big. So he kind of helped me, push me. I was like, yeah, I am gonna do this. Like, let's see what happens. I did it in 1 year. It was brutal. So that means 4 classes each semester plus summer, and I graduated in the following summer, or technically spring, and then did summer school. But the following year, I graduated with a master's.
Yeah.
It was a culture shock because coming from an HSI to USC, I'm going with like a higher class, and it just felt like unreal because I was just like, I'm just this girl, Hispanic first gen girl, doing a master's here. That I was like, I shot my shot to this college, and I was just like, shit, I actually got in. I remember I opened the decision letter at 1 a.m. because I was refreshing my page because it said this day. I was like, and it finally came. I was full panic, and I cried at 1 a.m. of just like, holy shit, this is real. Like I'm going. And then my dad cried in the morning. But yeah, I did it a year later. It was a lot. I'm very privileged. I'm very grateful because I learned so much, and I love my cohort. I loved my professors. Like, as much as I felt like an outsider in the big university, but in my cohort, my program, I never felt so loved and supported, and like I got a lot of reminded of just being my authentic self.
Yeah.
Praise my professors for that, because they taught me that being unique and different is great, and it helped me build to where I am now. And I give that same advice to all my other students I work with, or work in my department, and to now, like, I'm gonna be whoever the hell I want.
Yeah.
Even though I'm terrified a little bit, but it's still good.
Yeah.
I loved it, and I also, the support was helpful because the master's is no joke. It's a whole other element, a whole other built that I experienced. And then, you know, I had a party and all that jazz, and here we are. Doctor now.
Yes.
We won't get into that. It's not pretty brief. But you.
Me. So I took a gap year, I guess, but I took a year off. I graduated and went straight to working. And in my first year of working, I think it was really because of you, and you were like, you were pushing me and motivating me to be like, you can get your master's.
Because you can. It's like, it's a mental battle, because like, it's the I can'ts and I cans. Like,
yeah,
I could be like, oh, I know I'm not going to be able to and not try, or try and at least know the answer that you did all you could.
And I had coworkers who were telling me like, okay, well, if you're considering it, like, don't wait too long. You know, like the longer you get away from school, the harder it is. Because I had coworkers who had waited like 5-6 years to go back to school, and they were like, oh my god, I'm struggling so hard to like go back to school. And with my full-time job, so I got my master's also in higher education from Channel Islands. So I went back and worked for the university as I was getting my master's degree. So full-time job, part-time student. I missed probably like 10 classes in total between my 2 years.
Yeah, because of the traveling that you do.
Because of the traveling that I do for work. And so that was really difficult for me. And same thing, I had major imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
I was like, I do not belong in this space. I am not like my mind is not equipped to follow along with all these people. Like, I just take a lot more time to process things.
Yeah, that's okay.
And so to sit in class, I was like, I feel so stupid. Like, I genuinely did not think I was going to do it. And it actually wasn't until my second year of my master's program, probably like the last semester before I graduated, that I was like, oh, I could totally get into leadership. Like, I want to be in a leadership role now.
You are a leader in general.
Thank you. But, you know, like, I want to be at a director level one day.
I want to be boss ass bitch.
Yes, I want to be a boss. I want to be able to lead people. And same thing, I love working with students. I love working with people. So I think kind of after I graduated college, instead of going to the interpreting route, I was like, I want to continue helping people. And that master's really did that for me. And I did it in 2 years. So you graduated in 22. In 22.
You did 20.
And that's when I started my program. I started my program fall of 22.
Oh, yeah. So in 24?
Yeah, and then I graduated in 24. Yeah, you were just there.
Yeah. I was at our graduation.
And so that graduation was very special to me because that was like a real non-COVID graduation. So I got to actually walk. What?
I just remember something. You couldn't continue. Like, I didn't even talk about the master's graduation, bro.
Yeah.
Go.
So I got to walk, and I got to walk at the university that I did my undergrad in. So it really felt full circle for me to be able to go up on the stage and have my name called and get those pictures and getting the
I took the pictures
and getting the hood on me, you know, like it really felt full circle of like, oh my god, like I finally get my graduation that I had always wanted and I had pictured since my freshman year of college. Like I knew exactly how I wanted it to go. And when COVID happened and it didn't, I was so crushed. And I think graduating and walking the stage for my master's truly felt like, okay, I am now like, not that I wasn't educated before, but it truly felt like it truly felt like I had earned all this education. And I think I don't know if I told you this. I think I did. I don't know if I told my parents that I always say like my bachelor's degree was for them, but my master's was for me.
Period.
Yeah.
I think the same. My bachelor's was for the family. The master's was for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Your graduation thought.
I forgot about graduation and my master's because that also felt like that momentum. I got to walk on stage and this is what I did too.
At a prestigious school.
Whatever. I always say I'm alright because that's all I am. I'm alright.
No, you're not. You're better than that.
But I remember my master's. I felt a lot of emotions. I didn't cry though, but I felt like I should have cried. Like I don't know, I couldn't do because I think it was just so much adrenaline. Since we couldn't walk for our bachelor's, I actually put my Channel Island stole under my master's stole.
No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Aww.
So you didn't see it. So it felt like for me in that moment, I was walking for both. The opportunity I didn't get to have in my bachelor's to walk for S, like for
100%.
real. And I was like, I'm going to walk for both. I'm putting both of these stoles on because I worked my ass off for this. So it felt such a beautiful moment for myself to have that. Just the moment for me.
Yeah.
Because I low-key kind of blacked out walking.
And you took beautiful pictures too.
Yeah. Thanks.
I think that's why we kind of made it a bigger deal. Yeah. Not that a master's isn't a big deal on its own.
Yeah.
But also that was like our like comeback moment. So we paid for the pictures and we paid to get our hair and makeup done.
Yeah.
And all these fancy
we went all
things.
out, bro. Cause like we never got to have that real opportunity. And I remember going. I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it, but like low key, I kind of got butthurt when I saw you walk at CI. Because I was like, I never got to walk here.
I know.
And I was like, but you know, I'm here for her because I'm so proud of her. I was being such a mom with her mom because I was like, Oh my god, you did it.
Yeah.
I was being literally a legit mom. Like I had my camera and I ran to the front because you were in the line. I was
Yeah.
like, look at the camera.
Yes, and we got a hotel. She spent the night with me the night before,
Yeah.
so we could get like ready and without stress like that morning.
The fact that I woke up early still before her, I was like, dude, you need to get up and get ready, or
I was like, I'm fine. It's
you're
fine.
gonna make me panic.
She's panicking for my graduation.
Yeah, I was like, dude, let's go. Like, we're not coming late. But like, I remember that moment. I remember sitting there watching you. Your parents were crying, bro. I don't think I told you. I don't think I did.
I don't think you did.
Yeah, your mom was like so emotional, and I was like, oh, it was hurting me because I was
Stop,
like,
I'm gonna cry.
Don't cry.
Too late. They're coming.
But no, watching her cry made me cry. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. But it was such a surreal moment. Like it's
Yeah.
still like a lot. I remember like that whole day I was so happy for you. I was like, yes, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, to give insight, I'm not done with school.
Correct.
Whoop, whoop. This coming fall, I will be continuing on, and I'm getting my doctorate degree in education. So I'm going in EDD program.
Let's go.
Not the PhD route, but respect for those. The EDD program, and it's 3 years. So this one is really personal that I'm going for, and I know like it's gonna be so stressful, but it's gonna be so rewarding at the end that I'm probably gonna black out from all of it. But like I'm ready. I did take
Yeah.
3 years of a gap, but I'm ready now. I'm literally waiting.
But
for the fall.
when you graduate, it'll be before 30, right?
Yeah, I'll be 28.
Shit.
I know, right? And that's why I say it's like even a little bit pressure, because even people now have said to me, even my therapist included, she's like, you're doing so much at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's also still a little bit of pressure.
For sure.
We did this all in young age. You got your
We
master's
did.
in 2 years and you're freaking not even 27 yet, or
Yeah.
26, whatever.
Yeah.
And like we're still like, we did a lot of accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we still struggle with accepting that?
100%. I don't think we've ever really sat down and processed
I don't think I
how much we've actually done in such a short amount of time.
But yeah, we still talk so like whatever.
Yeah, we I don't know about you, but for me, not that I'm going through the motions of it,
Yeah,
but I think as we're doing it, it's just like, oh, we're doing it, we just got to keep going,
it's like a song going on fast. It's like a merengue song that we're just going through.
yeah, like we're just working, we're just like, okay, next thing, check that, checked off the list, next thing, check off the list.
So it's like we don't ever like praise or reflect it.
Yeah,
I think that's why in graduation we had like that hit like
Yeah.
real hard of like, oh
Mhm.
my god,
like even getting our first apartment, that's a big thing.
I know,
Getting your first apartment.
Like there's so many firsts that we did, I don't think we acknowledge. And that's why I asked that question, like, do you think like you still struggle with like praising yourself that you're like, I did that?
Yeah, I think if I ever do those things, I'm like, like cocky, but like in a stupid, funny way.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, I'm the best, But I don't ever seriously believe that. I'm like, I have so much work to do. Where it's like, yeah, look at me, I did it all, and then it's like, ugh.
Yeah, I feel like that's a limbo.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if I like be like I'm this and this and this, I feel like I'm cocky. So I hate that. I hate that. So that's why for me, like I'm just like, yeah, I did X, Y, and Z. Like all like it's cool.
Mhm.
And then everyone's like, no, that's crazy that you did that. I'm like, I think it's all right. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just like I think I still lack a little bit of acknowledgement of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like I don't know. I feel like that's something I'm still working through even now,
Mm-hmm.
because like people even at my job, they're like, Bri, you're doing so great, like you're doing all this stuff and we appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, cool, I don't know. Like
Just doing my job.
yeah, I'm just here, like this is what you signed up for,
Yeah.
let me do it. So it's like I don't know, do you have any things?
I don't know. Honestly, I think this is a really good way to like close
Conclude.
it out. Where it's like as we've mentioned in the first episode, we're still going through it. We're still learning and growing and shaping ourselves and trying to acknowledge the hard work that we've done,
Mhm.
trying to accept that like we deserve praise and we deserve love and we deserve, all these things, right? And I know that the first 2 episodes have kind of been like education heavy, But this is just like a background of us, right? The next
just wait till episode 3, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna give context.
The next episodes, we're just gonna keep getting more personal and more real about ourselves, outside of education, within education, whatever. We really have no like
timeline.
Yeah,
we're just gonna say whatever we feel, topics, and I hope you enjoy. But here's something that we'll close out also. What advice would you give to any students, parents, or anyone going to school or transferring to school or 4-year? Like, what advice would you give them?
I love this question so much.
Thanks.
The advice I give them is never feel like you've done something wrong and never feel like you are behind.
Period.
Everybody's story is different and everybody's story is valid. And you shouldn't compare yourself even to your own friends or your own colleagues, right? Like, you and I are the same age and we're best friends, but you and I also have very different mentalities, you know? So just because you're getting your doctorate degree doesn't make me feel like I'm any less than you.
She's not, though. She's not. She's a bad bitch.
Right? So it's that whole thing of like, just because we're not on the same path, even though we have very similar timelines, doesn't mean that one of us is doing something wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. My thing, just to add on to it.
Yeah.
Be who you are. Be your authentic self. You will find your community once you get there. You're going to find the support that you need. Try out new things. Be open to learning. And have fun, because make memories. It's like you never know. Like
100%.
have fun with it too. Make mistakes. You live and you learn, but like have fun with it. Be safe.
Always.
Please.
Be safe.
Also be safe, but like have fun with it. You know, that's the whole part of life. You're navigating, but you got to make memories within it. It's not all about hard work and grinding out. It's also about enjoying the moments. So stop and smell the roses sometimes.
Oh.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in for episode 2. I hope you enjoy. Like I said, please follow us on Instagram on Dis and Yap. Spotify. Please follow us, share, subscribe. YouTube. Follow, like, just share.
Follow,
subscribe.
Follow, like, share, subscribe.
God, there's so many buttons. Jesus Christ. But like, yeah. I hope you enjoy and tune in for episode 3.
Bye.
Bye.